Hello, this is Ollie's Movie Madness, and I'm going to be doing a movie review on Thunderbolts. Here we go. Thunderbolts is a fantastic film. I love the storyline because it focuses on Yelena Belova, and she is tasked to kill her soon-to-be team. But then they all find out that they are all depressed and lonely. They don't have a good life. So all of them team up with Bob, who is their new buddy. But then they find out that Bob has a dark side to him called the Void, this black entity that represents loneliness and depression. And it's up to the Thunderbolts to take down the Void and save Bob and the world. And that's it. Very simple, very fun premise. When I talk about the performances, Florence Pugh comes back as Yelena, and Yelena I didn't really care for in the MCU, but this movie made me care for her. She is the heart and soul of this entire movie. Her character arc, she has to battle her PTSD of her accidentally killing a little girl, and that scene in the Void when she sees the little girl getting killed by the Russians, really heavy and a really sad moment. You really feel bad for Yelena. She is a really awesome and really tragic character. And I think she was the highlight of this entire movie. Wyatt Russell comes back as John Walker, aka US Agent, and I have to say, out of all the characters, he was the funniest character of this entire movie. His jokes were hysterical. The one where he says, "Oh, I'm Captain America," and goes to like, yeah, for like 2 seconds. That was hilarious. But you also feel bad for him because his wife hates him because he's been ignoring her and their son because he's been looking at his phone at the scandals he's been accused of killing people. And it's just a really sad and really tragic moment. It's one of the saddest moments of the entire film. The scene where Ghost, or mostly Yelena, called US Agent an asshole is really funny because he's kind of like Peacemaker from the Unalive Squad. He's just this like, not narcissistic, but very smug, very in over his head type of character, but you really feel bad for him. So US Agent was awesome. Hannah John Kamen comes back as Ava Star / Ghost, and she was the only thing I wanted to go see for this film. I was like, okay, this movie sucks. She could be the best part in this film. And Ava is amazing. Hannah John Kamen has not missed a beat. Ghost is a character you also feel bad for because she doesn't have any friends. She's lonely. The scenes where she mentions that she's been tortured in a lab, well, funny. Again, it's really tragic because she lost her parents in Ant-Man the Wasp. Her dad was killed in a quantum experiment. So that's why she's all lonely. And the only dad she had was Bill Foster in that Ant-Man movie. So you can understand why she's also so depressed. The scene where she tells Bob to not sneeze because they're like in this wall. If he sneezes, they fall all the way down and end up dying. That was really funny. So, Ava, really awesome character. She has not changed. She is still an awesome character in this film. David Harbour comes back as Red Guardian, and he is always fun. He's always fun to watch. You can tell that Harbour still has it. He's still incredible. While he's the funniest character in the movie, he is also really tragic because he feels bad that he's a horrible dad by not spending time with Yelena. And the scene where he's trying to comfort her, trying to say everything could be okay, and then she said, "No, it's not okay because I lost my sister the first time and now she's gone for real." It's really sad. It's one of the most saddest Red Guardian moments of the entire film. But David Harbour, tremendous performance. And Red Guardian is a tremendous character. Taskmaster, she dies, so who cares? Moving on. The Winter Soldier. Now, he's not a villain, but he doesn't fully trust the Thunderbolts. But he does get a change of heart. And, Sebastian Stan, what can I say? He is still glorious at this character. My favorite part of Winter Soldier is where he says, "Oh, I had the best backstory. I had the best origin." So it was presented as an MCU joke, but he was masking his pain because Bucky had a really messed up life. If you've seen the other MCU movies, you know that Bucky did not have a good life. And that scene where he tells Red Guardian, "Oh, I got Hydra." That was like, they were comparing what super soldier serum they got, because that was like really funny. That was actually a really nice Red Guardian and Winter Soldier bond. That was like really funny. But easily the biggest standout of this entire movie is Lewis Pullman, who plays Bob, Sentry, and the Void. He does a glorious job of playing essentially 3 characters in one movie. Bob is a character you really feel bad for because, when he was younger, he had drug problems, he went through addiction, he had a horrible home life, so that's why he's always depressed, because he is the most lonely character in this movie, and he's really depressed. And that aspect, when he and Yelena talk on a personal level of why he's unhappy, is a really sad and tragic moment. I think Bob is the heart and soul of this entire film. Now, his real name is Robert Reynolds. That is his real name. But Bob is a tremendous character. Sentry we don't get a lot of, but for what he does have, let's just say he kicks all the Thunderbolts' asses. Like, he just beat the snot out of them. Because, like, Valentina, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, she is tremendous, but she says, "Oh, Sentry is powerful than any other Avenger." That was amazing. And the scene where he just bends Captain America's shield is amazing. And he goes like, "Yeah, well, that guy made my shield look like a taco." That was, like, really funny. But the Void side, the main antagonist, is such a glorious and realistic villain because he essentially represents pain and loneliness and depression. And to be honest, we have all been depressed and lonely in our lives. So anyone who's depressed can relate to Bob in this movie. But the Void is really scary. Lewis Pullman's vocal performance is really scary. That whole scene where it goes from a MCU film to essentially a horror movie is amazing. That line says, "Robert, we could be all alone. Alone is the best thing in the world," where he says, "We could be alone together at last." Really awesome villain quote. Really awesome monologue, how he manipulates him, saying, "They never cared about you. Just stay with me and everything will be okay." And that the Void is a villain you just love to hate and you want something bad happen to him. And lo and behold, Bob beat the shit out of him. And he's essentially one of the scariest MCU villains. And he is definitely in my top 5. In fact, number 1 favorite villain in Phase 5. The Void is a tremendous villain. When he showed up, I'm like, holy shit, that's the villain? Because in the trailer, I thought he was going to be a bland villain. But no, he is a magnificent and really fun antagonist. Again, Lewis Pullman does such a glorious job as this character. So I can talk forever of why I like Thunderbolts, why I love this movie. But in the end, I'll leave you with this. So in conclusion, I still enjoyed this film. And I enjoyed this movie so much, I actually want to go see it. Was actually out of theaters. But I actually want to rewatch it again on Disney Plus because the storyline was awesome. The jokes were amazing. The drama is actually the best thing about this entire movie because it focuses on the drama rather than the comedy. All of these characters you really feel bad for. Bob, Yelena, Ava, John Walker. All of these characters you really feel bad for. I highly recommend you watch this film, especially if you like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. The Void is one of the best villains of this entire year, of 2025. So I give Thunderbolts a 10 out of 10. So that is my movie review of Thunderbolts. Hope you guys enjoyed.